I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to you our keynote speaker. She is a wonderful woman, and I went online yesterday and looked up her history, and it's like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to have to read some of the stuff because it's an awful lot. She was elected as county commissioner in 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016 in Lincoln County. Was just elected as one of our housing stability commissioners last July. She co-chaired the Oregon Indian Homelessness Advisory Council. She's co-chairing the Lynn Benton Lincoln Early Learning Hub. She is a member of the board of the IHNCCO, which is the Inter-Community Health Network Coordinated Care Organization. She's the past president of the Oregon Association of Counties. She has served on the Oregon Association of Counties Veteran Services Committee. In 2009, she received the Award of Excellence from the Association of Oregon Communities for the Mental Health Program, and as an advocate for mental health, addiction, and developmental disabilities. I would say, in my words, she is the drum major for homeless issues, poverty, mental health, and housing. So would you please give a warm welcome to our Housing Stability Council member, Claire Hall.
Rosaria, thank you very much for that kind and generous introduction. You know, I speak to a lot of groups and I get introduced many, many times, and I've got to say that may be the nicest introduction, okay, the second nicest introduction I ever received. The best, if I was to be honest, many years ago I was speaking at the Toledo Rotary Club, and the member who was supposed to introduce me didn't show up, so I had to introduce myself. Okay, well, yes, I have been a Lincoln County Commissioner for 15 years, so I tell people that means the good folks of Lincoln County either haven't caught on to me yet or haven't gotten tired of me yet. In any event, I'm glad that I'm here after all these years. I love the work, I'm passionate about the work. That entire time, I have been a member of a Community Action Agency Board of Directors, because as the good folks from CSC here will tell you, that the nine county commissioners for the Lynn-Benton-Lincoln region constitute the board of CSC. I have also, for 15 years, been a board member, and the last 3 years, president of the nonprofit family homeless shelter that operates in Newport. I also have been active in the Housing Alliance for more than 10 years. So this is in my blood, and I know it is in all your folks' blood as well. I think this is really an especially exciting, and it's also a challenging time for those of you who are doing this work. Finally, there is a real sense of need and momentum from the governor's office and in the legislature to bring tools and resources to bear at the local level that really are going to produce what I think over the next few years, game-changing and life-changing results. I am proud that as a Housing Stability Council member, I was able to have a small part in developing Breaking New Ground, which is the new statewide housing plan. I saw at least a couple of copies in this room. It is the first comprehensive state housing plan in many, many years. And I'm glad to say it is not just going to be another one of those plans that sits on a shelf. Margaret Salazar, our agency director, told us at the Housing Stability Council meeting last Friday. She was in DC for a brief visit and visited congressional offices, and they had copies full of notes and stickies, and it is going to be a blueprint for change for many years to come. Now, if you've got the plan itself or that nifty little summary that's posted and has been distributed, it's got 6 priority areas. And one of them, built a coordinated and concerted statewide effort to prevent and end homelessness with a focus on ending the unsheltered homelessness of Oregon's children and veterans. That really is a lofty goal, but I think it's one as a state that we can achieve and we must achieve. I think you folks here in this room probably know better than almost anyone else in this state the terrible economic, social, human costs of homelessness. You know, I'm one of those folks who work on policy and resources at the 10,000-foot level, so I get my name on a lot of committees. Occasionally, people are nice enough to give me an award, but I feel like you are the people who are the true heroes of this work. Those of you who have your boots on the ground, doing the very difficult, challenging, and I know sometimes heartbreaking work with individuals and families to not only help them navigate the complex web of services available to them, but also to help them build or rebuild confidence and hope. I know you don't do this work for a paycheck. No, paychecks, they're nice, aren't they? But because you do have a true passion and a sense of mission for this work. As I've said, this is a challenging time. Now that elected officials and the public at large, I think, have awakened and are energized by the need to really systematically, fundamentally attack the problems in our society that have brought us to a homelessness problem that is this pervasive. They have elevated expectations, and of course, they want everything fixed overnight. But we know that this is a problem that developed over many decades and it can't be fixed overnight. But finally, I think the momentum is there for change. And again, I said in terms of a challenging time, this new era means changes in the way that Oregon Housing and Community Services and community action agencies will be working together, as well as the way community action agencies will be working with each other. In part, this is being driven by the legislative budget note calling for use of evidence-based practices in distribution of EHA and SHAP dollars. From my finding, or from my position, my understanding of this is data has always been important, but instead of counting widgets, such as client encounters, they're really going to be more focused than ever on client outcomes, people achieving employment, people achieving stable housing, this kind of thing. But even in the last few years, I hope you're aware, we have won historic levels of EHA and SHAP funding in the legislature, and it's really my hope that with the kind of data that they're asking for over these next few years, we can get even more dollars driven into these programs, because despite that historic funding, again, you all know best, it's still not enough, not even close enough to meet the need. Something else I should mention is that change also means brand new resources and programs, and just one that I'm really excited about is the governor's commitment, and I hope the legislature is going to follow through, on the creation of a lot more permanent supportive housing around the state. The governor's budget is calling for more than $54 million to be invested in permanent supportive housing creation, both bricks and mortar and service dollars over the next couple of years. Government work usually doesn't happen on faith, and it usually doesn't happen quickly, but I think with the enlightened leadership and passion at the top of this agency, Oregon Housing and Community Services, we're going to see something amazing happen. Last Friday at the Housing Stability Council meeting, now again, remember, even though there's no legislative approval yet of $1 for this, there's enough faith that it's going to happen. We approved the outlines for a permanent supportive housing pilot program. The goal, 200 units operational by June 30th of 2021, less than 2 years from now. Kind of breathtaking. But be prepared. There will be, because I know a community action will be a key part of the teams that will have to come together in communities that want to be in the competition for these dollars. The timeline that as we understood it last Friday was there will actually be a request for applications next month. Communities will be selected for a technical assistance cohort, a final RFP process in the fall, dollars going out the door immediately, and again, the prospect of having 200 new units within 2 years. So, I've talked a lot about the importance of data, data driving decisions, data driving policy, but I also know I've had enough hands-on experiences myself or been close to people who have that some of the most important things can't be measured in dollars. I have a friend in Lincoln City who's involved in a community nonprofit called Angels Anonymous, and they were able to help a family who was experiencing homelessness get into a permanent housing situation. A young couple and their 8-year-old boy. And this gentleman was visiting the family in their brand new apartment, and he asked the young man, what was the best thing about having a bedroom of his own? And he said, the young boy looked up at him and said, having a wall to put a picture on. Yeah. If that doesn't melt your heart, what does? Thank you. I'm honored to have the opportunity to have been with you for a few minutes. Do we have time? If anybody's got, I could take questions if anybody has any, and if not, I'll let you get on with your agenda. Yes.
About how many do you think you'll be accepted into the pilot program?
They were talking about
Question?
Okay, yes, the question was how many communities would be accepted into the pilot program. They said no way to gauge the interest at this point, but probably there's going to be a single technical assistance provider, so they, the vision was probably, or the best guess at this point, maybe 7 to 10 selected for the cohort.
Other questions of Commissioner Hall? Oh my gosh, you guys are excited.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you.